Super excited to have you all here. What we're going to be talking about is how you can turn your talent community into your competitive advantage. I'm David Falwell. I'm the president and founder of Staffing Referrals. I've been in the staffing industry for about 13 years. I've launched well over 100 referral programs, and I am excited to be talking with all of you today. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Rachel to do a quick introduction.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Happy to be here. My name is Rachel Arnold. I'm VP of Customer Experience here at Staffing Referrals. I have been with the team for 2.5 years. Prior to that, most of you know, I've come out of healthcare staffing, held a role at an agency for a little over 5 years. I'm a former customer of Staffing Referrals, so used the product from a non-integrated perspective, had a ton of success, and then came over here 2.5 years ago. Very excited today to be joined by two of our fabulous customers, Alyssa and Eric. I'll pass it over to Alyssa first to give us an intro.
Thank you, Rachel. My name is Alyssa Zakaria, Director of IT at Integrity Staffing Solutions. I've been with Integrity for nearly 19 years. Started as their black belt for process improvement projects. Worn a lot of hats over the years, but my latest gig is Director of IT, probably because I've implemented a bunch of technology in recent projects. Happy to be here with my favorite partner vendor.
All right, and Eric.
Yeah, my name is Eric Parker. I am the Vice President of Talent Management Operations for SelfStaff. I've been in the staffing industry for 8 years, all with SelfStaff. I started with the company as a recruiter, and since I've been promoted to recruitment manager, director of recruitment, and then my latest vice president role. In my current position, I oversee our recruitment team as well as our credentialing team in our Tampa office. So all things production, credentialing, candidate facing, building experiences. That's kind of been my specialty. So thank you, David and Rachel, for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're excited too. What a crew we have, right? So for those of you who are joining us and do not know anything about these agencies, I'm going to turn it back over to Alyssa to give us a rundown on Integrity Staffing Solutions.
Thank you. So Integrity Staffing Solutions is one of the largest diversity-owned staffing businesses in the U.S. We operate in 32 states, provide national services to some of the largest blue-chip companies in the world. We pride ourselves to be associate-focused. We put a lot of time and resources into worthwhile programs that benefit our associates both on and off the job. We have our vision is that our clients succeed when our associates succeed. And our mission is that we generate opportunities for people to exceed their own expectations, advance careers, and companies and communities. So it's bigger than just the associates. It's very important to us.
Awesome. That's why we are happy that you're here. And then Eric, give our audience a rundown on SelfStaff.
Yeah, so we're actually entering our 10th year in business, but we are in the healthcare staffing space. So our headquarters office is located in Tampa, Florida, and then we also have a office out in Portland, Oregon. So we focus a lot on government services, allied as well as travel nursing. And we have about 50 recruiters on the team. A little humble brag, but last year we won the SIA, took the grand prize for SIA Best Place to Work for companies. It was in the 50 to 200 category. And we're also nominated for the to temp for. So seeing as we're talking about referrals and building experiences, I thought it was a good thing to bring up that we're also nominated for one of the best companies to temp for. So hopefully this kind of translates well into the presentation.
Love it.
Awesome. That's great. Well, super excited to have all of you guys here. We're going to go ahead and jump in. So first of all, what I want to talk about is some of the challenges that we're seeing staffing agency owners face today. One of the things that we consistently hear from the agencies that we talk to is that you guys are all fishing from the same pond. Essentially, you're buying the same resumes that your competitors are. Frequently, recently, we've heard that you're buying the same resumes sometimes that your clients are, that you're out there paying Indeed for resumes, and then you go out and find out that the employer that you're trying to hire for is actually their team has been paying for those resumes too. And really, it's hard to differentiate your services when you are all buying the same talent. Eric, you had a comment on this as well that I think was worth noting.
Yeah, I mean, we've also noticed that sometimes you're fishing in the same pond with yourself. So when we're posting jobs on Indeed or ZipRecruiter, we're using our LinkedIn or Indeed accounts to to source new candidates, a lot of the times we have those candidates already in our database. And I think I speak for everyone on this panel that I think we would rather pay money to people that have worked for our company or are sending referrals into the company for some of these job boards. But sometimes, a lot of times we're finding ourselves fishing from that same pond ourselves.
Absolutely. And with that, one of the things that's funny about that is that all of these, I don't know what the overall spend is with Indeed from the staffing industry. I would love to know how much staffing agencies spend with Indeed. I think I've heard it's like $200,000 on average per year per agency, and there's over 20,000 agencies. So it's a lot. And the funny part with that is that 73% of candidates that are looking for jobs are passive job seekers, meaning they're not on job boards. So there's like this insane amount of spend going to job boards. And the reality is there's this huge network of candidates that aren't on job boards, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about today. Oops, I went backwards. The other component of this is the quality of hires, the quality of candidates. 77% of employers report that it's difficult to find skilled talent, high quality candidates. It can be a differentiator for your agency. And we know that referrals are one of the ways that you can do that. So what we're going to be digging into today is what we think is the solution, which is building and leveraging your talent community. So what does this mean if you're a staffing agency executive? Essentially, it's taking your agency's network and allowing you to access and activate passive talent that you cannot find on job boards. And it's going to be higher quality candidates and also candidates that are unique to your agency. So first of all, let's talk about what is a talent community. We've defined this here as a pool of talent who is engaged with your agency in a meaningful way. The way we like to think about this is the first pool is going to be their placements. These are people that are on contract, your alumni, people that have worked for your agency at some point. Typically about 10 times the size of that is your database. So it's going to be the people that have downloaded a salary guide, applied, but never gone to work, people that you could nurture, but maybe aren't. And then where I think the real value in this is when you look at what is the people that are connected to the people in your database, which is your entire network and typically about 100 times the size of your database. So with that, I know I'm dug in on kind of the stats there for it, but I would love to hear, Rachel, your thought on how do you define a talent community?
Yeah, I love the word community. I am also a yoga teacher, and the word community resonates really well with me for that space. But I think it's like being part of something bigger, right? Like a bigger cause, a bigger network. And community is a trusted space of like-minded beings that are all passionate about the same thing that usually perpetuates this like, I've got your back culture, right? And so I think that, when I started falling into yoga, and that's why I became a yoga teacher, because I wanted to be part of that community. But thinking more broader, like all of us are in a community because we all work in staffing, and then you can break it down by verticals within that. And then I live in New Orleans, so I'm part of the New Orleans community. We're part of all of these little communities. And so it's this yearn to be part of something that's bigger. And so I think from like a staffing perspective, I'm sure like you guys you're nodding, like it really resonates that like you want to build that. You want that type of environment for not only you, but also for your team.
Yeah, and great points there. And Eric, I think you had some thoughts around this as well.
Yeah, and obviously like one challenge of staffing always is, we're placing people in facilities on contracts nationwide. And we want them to go into these facilities and feel like they have the support of a company and support of a recruiter, and feeling, to Rachel's point, feeling like they're part of something bigger. So one of our core values being, create a team environment with a family spirit. We always try to do that both internally and externally. Obviously, we have a little bit more control over the internal aspect there, but that's always been a huge goal of ours, is creating that experience for our external candidates. And I think that what that really does is it gives them that support when they're going into their assignments, which a lot of the times they're going into these facilities where there already is a community in place. There's people that have worked together for years, people that have collaborated together for a long time. And it's kind of like that first day of school feeling for a lot of them, where they go in, they don't really know anyone. But if they have that support from their company and their recruiter, it makes that transition so much better. And that's obviously where it lends into the referrals. And hopefully they feel comfortable in sending people back to the company who gave them an awesome experience as well.
I absolutely love that. And Alyssa, I know you talked, part of your guys' mission is tied to community as well. Could you share your thoughts here?
Yeah. So for us, it's, with the associate comes first and making sure they're successful. But, and then secondly, if they're successful, then our clients are successful. But we sort of taken an even extended look at that in the sense that we also want success for the community and the communities where our associates live and where our staff lives and works. And so we also focus on supporting, we have a project called Project Home, and that helps, displaced people find a home, and be able to continue working, So it's very important to us. And with the referral program, the industry understands that the success of referrals is because they're going to get referred by someone they know, and then go to a company. You wouldn't refer someone to a company where you're not comfortable and you're not content, and and so that sort of grows and grows and grows, and you can expand it into the community and help the community. And I think that's one of the things that we really like is going beyond just we don't get the one person a job. It's what else can we do to support everything.
And that's one of the reasons I was so excited to have both of you guys on this call today. It was just like your guys' belief in and approach to building a talent community and how you're approaching your talent engagement. So we're going to dig into that a little bit with some specific examples, but I really appreciate you guys sharing there. So before we get into the how you do it, let's talk about why do you need to leverage your talent community? I think the one of the most, it's really pretty simple, is that your talent community is one of the things that will always be unique to your staffing agency. So when it comes to creating a competitive advantage, your network is unique. Nobody's ever going to replicate your exact network, and your network's connections are unique. So it's something that will differentiate your services. The second side of this is that I firmly believe, and I think that you guys are doing this right now, that there's almost a race to build and leverage and engage with the community. And my belief is that their candidates aren't going to want to be part of 5 different staffing agencies, referral programs, or communities. And so the more ambassadors you can get now, the bigger of the network you can build and the more engagement you have, you're actually building something that's a long-term sustainable competitive advantage by building this and engaging with this talent community. Some of the benefits that tie back to that is it's going to help you improve the candidate engagement and the experience. It's going to streamline some recruitment processes, and ultimately it's going to help you grow faster, and it's going to help you grow profitably. With that, let's go ahead and jump into how do you do it. And we're going to go into this from the lens, largely talking about referrals and some examples tied to referrals about how you can create a competitive advantage by leveraging your community. 3 of the key areas that we're going to be taking a look at is how you can engage, expand, and then also nurture. With that, let's start off by talking about how do you build your talent community. And there's absolutely nobody better in the world to talk about building a talent community than Rachel Arnold, because she's done it helped so many of our customers build their talent community. So why don't we go through these steps, and then we'll jump in from there.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm pretty passionate about this. So when thinking about building your talent community, there are some steps like checking boxes, if you will, that will definitely help you and your agency identify like where you can spend your time and your effort. And I like to think of these as more like building blocks. Know that they kind of all play off of each other. So defining and understanding your audience. Remix. So like, who are your champions? What are they saying about you internally and externally? Like, what are people saying in the universe, and what are people saying in your offices, or if they're working remotely when you're talking to them? What's their experience as working for you? And then leveraging your technology. So leveraging what you have as your ATS, like Bullhorn, using things like Bullhorn automation, reviews, great recruiters, things like staffing referrals, staffing engine. Like, what gaps do you have, and how do you fill that? And then deliver that value-added content and experiences through that technology. Allow it to enforce your community and create and foster that environment. So then fostering the community and the word of mouth, like get out into your physical locations if you have them. Gather and share any feedback that you have with your network. Let people know what people are saying about you, right? That's what everybody wants to. They want to feel like they're part of what's going on, or they want to feel like, oh wait, I want to be part of that. And then gather reviews, have newsletters, be the subject matter expert for what it is that you guys are staffing, and have that internally and externally. There's just so obviously there's so many ways to do this. And then evaluate and adapt. You have to be able to pivot when needed. You're going to have gaps within the process. You're going to be on this little train for a second and then fall completely off of it and have to get back up, right? You have to be able to listen to what's going on, listen to what people are saying, pivot, and then also promote. Eric, you have some really amazing experiences to share here from like the review perspective.
Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned Great Recruiters too, and we have an awesome partnership with them. But we've always really valued reviews a ton, for multiple reasons. One, we want people to be able to search CellStaff and see all the awesome experiences that our team has built for the candidates that we're placing. But also we want it for feedback as well. So yeah, we want to see the 5 stars, but we also want to see reviews in areas that we can improve and using as coaching opportunities to our team, to the point, evaluate ourselves as a company and be able to adapt over time. And that was something that we did with staffing referrals too. Like when we first engaged with the program and building out a staffing or a referral program, just kind of checking the temp with some of our ambassadors of how are our payments, how are we doing with, getting the payments out on time, like the gift card options that we have. But being able to evaluate and adapt in this case with our referral program, but also just as a company as a whole has been something that has always been really, really important to us.
Yeah. Being able to take some of that negative feedback and do something with it, right? I think a lot of times as an agency, we kind of shy away from it, but like lean into it.
Right. Yeah. You've got to take accountability in the areas that you do need to improve.
Yeah.
If you're stuck in your ways and you're not willing to adapt and improve and, you're going to see that translate to the revenue side of the business at some point too, because other companies are going to take a step ahead of you.
Right. Absolutely. And then Alyssa, you're my tech guru. Talk to us a little bit about like technology and leveraging.
Well, I was actually thinking of how much of a benefit in Eric's world having a referral program that works is going to set you apart, right? So I mean, I think that's huge. And for me, from a technology perspective, some of the things that I love the most about having a referral program that's built on a platform like Staffing Referrals is, it's almost foolproof, right? Like, so people can refer each other. It's easy. It's, their information of the ambassador carries through with the candidate, and it's easy to see when they get on assignment, and all of those things. Oh my gosh, the chaos from paper sign-up sheets and handing out cards, referral cards, and chasing down, who did what flyer and which Mary Smith referred who, and so, really, to me, the technology is what lets us really make good on the promise of a referral program. We were able to put a nationwide referral program in place, have confidence that it's easy for people to sign up. It's easy for ambassadors to refer their friends. It's very easy for a recruiter to plop a friend in there when they walk in the door. And it's all there and it's all connected. And, behind the scenes, you've got the technology going that's following that candidate through their life cycle. And then in the end, they get to the point where they've met the requirements for the referral program and they get paid. And it makes it a whole lot more seamless for us to, not only have a good program, but also, instill that level of trust in us and in our community and everything else, because, we're going to make good on it. It's not something that falls through the cracks anymore.
Sure. Which helps with the whole community piece, right? Like
absolutely.
Having a seamless candidate experience allows them to be excited about things like technology that they don't even realize is running behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
We're all
Yep.
insane, but
Yep.
they don't know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
we get the side effect of a great program because of the technology that works, so.
it's good.
Awesome. Well, and with that, let's go ahead and jump into the next step, which is creating a referral culture. So there's really two core components to building a referral culture. Number one is you need to be referable. So be a good agency, treat people well, and you need to prioritize referrals. Part of the reason we have sales staff and integrity, Alyssa and Eric here, is because you guys have done an amazing job with both of these components. Eric, you had some thoughts on how you've gone about building the referral culture. Could you share a little bit about what you guys have done?
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, anytime that you take on a new platform or new program, especially tech related, you really have to think about how you're going to roll it out to the team, how you're going to create excitement, how you're going to show them that value in the system. And one thing that we've done for years now are quarterly competitions with our recruitment floor. So whether it's a staycation that we're sending the top recruiters to, or it's a bonus or extra PTO or iPads, iWatches, something cool just to add some additional incentive over the length of the quarter. We'll do these competitions where we track like submission points and start points and growth over hours and GP from month to month. But when we signed on with Staffing Referrals, we did triple start points for anyone that hired a candidate with the lead source being Staffing Referrals. So like we created some excitement to get the platform kind of off its feet. And then, over time, as people work with more referrals, they really see how much easier it is to work with a referral. So much of the legwork is already done. They've talked with whoever their friend or the ambassador in this case is about the position that they're going to, the recruiter that they're being referred to. So just how much easier it is to get them through that hiring process, and then them staying on their assignments longer. So you kind of create that excitement to start, and then the recruiters see the value in referrals over time, and really create excitement over social media, sharing it on LinkedIn, all that good stuff. So we've had a lot of success with our competitions of being able to, kind of drive certain behaviors, but also engage our team in new systems like Staffing Referrals as well.
I think it's really cool that you guys have done the internal culture building to drive engagement to make sure your organization is referable, which is a core component of that. And Alyssa, I know we've talked about prioritizing referrals, and also you've frequently brought up the importance of the kind of transparency and making sure you're paying them out on time, which I think is a core piece of prioritizing referrals. I wonder if you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think, again, one of our core values is advocating for the associate success. And one of the great things that the Staffing Referrals tool does for us is it lets the ambassador be able to see the progress of their referrals through the process and see that they're successful, and can look and say, hey, when's the next time I'm going to get my award for, Joe, who I referred last week, or last month, because it takes a little while. But anyway. You have to work 80 hours first, but no, seriously. And then as well, the candidate as well can go in and see where they stand in the process. Are they almost there? Have they, is their payout coming? So I think that transparency is really huge in advocating for the success of our ambassadors and our associates and our recruiters, because they can see too. They can help if they're asked, so that's awesome too.
And one of the things while we were prepping for this meeting, for all of you that are listening, is we've talked about there are occasionally agencies we've come across that do not want to pay referrals out, and that is not a good way to approach business. If you are trying to avoid paying referrals out, just get rid of your referral program. Don't do it. Right? Because if you have a referral program and you are trying to hide your referral bonuses away from your candidates, you're creating terrible experiences. So stop.
Yeah, seriously. Like, we pride ourselves in that.
To not have referrals.
Yeah. Dave, I want to comment on something. I want to tell a quick story about launching Sales Staff, if everybody's cool with it. So a referral culture gets me like super jazzed up. If you've ever talked to me outside about referrals and culture, and it like lights a fire under me. So when we went to launch Sales Staff, we were doing the training with the recruiters, and usually like the next day or a couple hours later, we turn everything on after we get off that call. And the team was really jazzed. Like everybody's on camera, everybody's like really animated. I'm like, oh, this is going so well. Because sometimes people don't turn on their cameras for our training. So I don't know. So we get off of that call, and then I'm getting like tagged in things on LinkedIn. And the team was already sharing on social media, like instantly. They were like, grabbed their links and were sharing on social media about what's going on. So then I had to like quickly turn on the integration. I was like, okay, it's live right now. But it was just like the impact of having that internal culture about this technology and like making this part of the process now, right? And it was like one of those moments where it was like very clear that this team was excited about referrals, excited about this new piece of technology, and they were just like running with it. And it was just so fun to like see all that manifest and have like the mission and values of SellStaff kind of just like I could feel it, and I was just somebody training the team on the other side, you know.
You just got a kudos in the chat too.
Aw.
Oh, thanks. Well, kudos to SellStaff for that. It was a really cool moment.
I love that story. And next, we're going to talk about the importance of elevating your brand and making sharing easy. I think a lot of companies, agencies think about their brand, but it's really important to think about the experiences you're creating and making sure those experiences are worth talking about. We like to call those referable moments. So create an amazing experience that's worth talking about so that somebody's like, oh, this company is so cool. I want to introduce you to them. So it's part of the being referable. Eric, you also had a story about what you guys are doing related to gift boxes, I think.
Yeah. So one thing that we do, I think, is kind of unique, or at least I think it's unique and creates an experience for our candidates. Is we always send our new hires a little gift box in the mail. It's a SellStaff branded box. It has the little crinkle cut paper in there, but we throw in a SellStaff branded like clear bag, the ones that you can bring into hospitals, or in our case, correctional facilities or mental health hospitals. We have SellStaff branded koozies, pens, a handwritten card. We even have a little staffing referral slick of our referral program that we put in there. And I think that going back even to just like creating a talent community, I think that really goes a long way for our candidates feeling supported before they go into their assignment. Is just getting something in the mail that shows that, we care about them. We're excited for them to start an assignment with us, excited for their first day, and that, they have our support. So we've got a lot of really positive feedback from those new hire boxes.
Yeah, and I think that's such an incredible example of creating a referable moment and making sure you're driving referrals from that. One of the key components of that is you have the great experience, and then you want to make sure that the sharing part of it is easy. So we're going to jump and just show you an example of how our ambassador dashboards work. So a specific example how when that referable moment happens, candidates can easily refer their friends by clicking share your referral link and then texting that directly out to their friends. The reason this is important is because 77% of talent want to refer friends by sharing their unique referral links. We were able to grab an example of a candidate that shared for Integrity. This is something I actually just last night shared Integrity and staffing referrals, and it's pulled up on Facebook. And you can actually see this is a candidate out doing marketing and promotion and working as essentially a commission-only recruiter on behalf of Integrity, because they have these links to go out and refer, and because we made it easy to refer. Alyssa, one of the other things you guys did, which is really cool, I should have grabbed an image, but you guys also put QR codes on the posters in your local offices, which is another way of kind of making it easy. So with the next component here that I wanted to jump into is just how you can increase trust through transparency. And what this ultimately does is going to elevate and gamify your referral program and help you drive real-time updates to candidates and drives more referrals overall. When we were talking about this, Eric was like, immediately said Domino's Pizza Tracker, and I just wanted you to talk about that a little bit. So.
Yeah, I can't take credit for it because I heard it in a demo before, but it's really stuck with me. When you order a Domino's pizza, you get to see who's making your pizza, when they're making your pizza, when it's in the oven, when it's in the car being delivered, and that it creates trust that your pizza is being made with quality and getting delivered in a timely fashion. I think that's one of the things Staffing Referrals does an amazing job of, and it really helps, building that referral program is those ambassadors being able to go in and see, okay, I've referred 50 people and 20 of them have made it to assignment, and I'm making X amount of money because of these referrals. Also, even keeping that dollar amount in front of them, they're like, wow, this is how much money I've made off referrals over my time with as a brand ambassador for this company. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep sharing my ambassador link and trying to get more people hired for this company.
Yeah, and it's funny is like I think about the Domino's tracker. I remember when that came out, it was like revolutionary. And now we all have DoorDash, and I'm like creeping on my delivery driver the whole way. Just like I know exactly what's at every minute. Like they could be here in 3 minutes. But the one thing that so the kind of corollary to that Domino's pizza tracker is with referrals and our platform, you can actually, your candidates as they refer people in can track every single referral and the status of that referral. And it's synced to Bullhorn. So we're syncing directly the candidate status in real time. So they can actually see where they're at, see how it's progressing. And then they see how much they've earned and the potential earnings and the total number of referrals. And this really gamifies the process, drives more referrals. And Alyssa, we were talking about a story, or you had one of the better stories of somebody delivering a lot of referrals, potentially because of the impact that they seen how much they could earn.
Yeah, totally. And it actually, I was thinking when you were talking about how easy and sharing a referral link and having recruiters that are basically, what you call them? They're recruiting for commission. Yeah. Yes, that was But so one of the things that we tried to do at Integrity with the referral program was there's this notion that you don't even have to work for Integrity to refer people. Right. Like that's the beauty of it. So we actually had, and the story you're talking about is we had a woman who, had an organization where she supported, recovering women with addiction, recovering addicts in the community. And she, kind of referred a few friends one time or, women that she knew once, and, they all got hired and everything was great, but she kind of caught on. And the next thing we knew, over time, and I went and I looked her up just for this, she had referred 70 people, 32 of them got hired. Yeah, I know. And 15 worked long enough to get the award. I mean, that's just amazing. And she doesn't work for us, so, I mean, there's a whole nother angle there of a way to, build that community and build your referral network. And it can be, centers of influence. It doesn't have to be, your associates.
Yeah.
I
mean,
go ahead.
It's just like the whole power of the community, right? You don't even know who is in each other's community, and that ambassador having that experience with you all, and studies have shown it's not really the monetary value, right? It's like she's doing it because it makes her feel good, and like she knows she's helping other people.
She knows she's going to help to deliver.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We've even had, I think one of the higher paid out one is a travel nurse that had referred had 57 $500 payouts.
Wow.
And I'm like, can you imagine? Like that's an actual part-time job, or I mean, even a full-time job. And that's a lot of money to be making.
We know the market, guys.
One tip for all of you that are listening here is if your referral program, if you're only paying out people that are active on contract, stop and start to open your referral program up. Allow people to, if somebody wants to refer people to you to make extra money or because they like your brand, allow them to do it. Talk to some agencies who are like, oh, they have to be working for us. It's like, why? Why would you not want qualified candidates being submitted to you? So, and
the beauty of staffing referrals is that it works, right? They still, it still has the mechanism for 1099s, and I mean, it doesn't. We're not handcuffed by. Technologically, we're able to do it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, and you are doing yourself a disservice if you're not tapping into that part of your community. If you are only looking at these people, then there's so many other people, and even if maybe one of those people would actually end up working for you, and then the domino effect of what could happen there is kind of unlimited. And something else I love about this slide, I think in staffing, we talk a lot about trust and transparency. They're buzzwords for sure. But I love this concept of trust through transparency, because when I think about community and that like I've got your back feeling, it's the trust component of it. And so I just like love that whole thought. I think from working agency before, the day-to-day, right, we get into this grind where we forget what's actually happening on the other side of it. And coming back to that, I think is really good. Trusting in the experience, trust in the team that's putting you to work, like from a temp contingent labor perspective, right? Like that's everything. Like to your point earlier, Eric, like it is tough. I remember talking to travelers that would go into hospitals and they were like, they hate me. You're like, come here, let me virtually hug you. It's going to be okay. We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that sucks for them.
Yeah.
I was just going to touch on even, ambassadors that don't work for your company. I think just communicating those things, like obviously from a high level down to the recruiting teams and having them communicate those things to the ambassadors or people that are no longer with the company is so important. Like when someone is ending a contract, just having kind of like a parting conversation of, hey, just remember, like you're still an ambassador for the company. I'd love for you to be able to refer people and share that link to your networks. And that really plays a big part into the success of a referral program like this, even following up with people that are no longer an employee of the company, but you had a good experience with, checking in with them, even if it's every other month, or just a quick text or a voicemail, check in to see how they're doing. And don't forget about the referral program and the $500 gift cards they have the potential to earn. Back to the communication piece, it was even a couple slides ago about sharing that link. That was, some of the secret sauce for me with staffing referrals is, we can tell our recruiters all day long, hey, ask for referrals, but you ask for a referral and they may think of 5 people at the top of their head that are nurses as well, or in the same field that they can potentially refer. They're usually working. Well, having that link that they can share to their networks on their LinkedIn or on their Facebook, and communicating that to the ambassadors of, hey, don't just refer people don't refer family members or cousins or brothers or sisters, like hit your networks that you have on these social media platforms too. And then, it's benefiting them as well. So it's benefiting the people that are getting placed. It's benefiting them from an aspect of, like David, like you said, you've had people that would have referred 60 people at $100 gift cards. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that look at it as like a side hustle, an affiliate marketing program. When we get somebody grabbing their links and putting them in blogs and actually like blogging about agencies that were using this, and just it can create a process of having free promotion. I just want to go back on the trust and transparency component of it a little bit. Is having gone to TravCon for years and interviewed travel nurses about, hey, what do you think of referral programs? Like back in the market research days, what I continued to hear was, oh, I've referred my friend to this agency. 6 months later, I reached out to get my referral bonus. Like, we don't have a record of it, and that recruiter no longer works here. So sorry. And so now you've taken a referral program that's supposed to be like building your brand, driving results, and you've created a terrible candidate experience. And so just having the ability to be like, I referred somebody, I can see that it's here, and I know I'm not, and so standardizes it and it allows people to trust your brand a little bit more. So that's another component as well. So the next piece, this is just kind of I always like to put stat slides in here, and like specific takeaways for everybody that's on joining these webinars. One of the things that, whether you use software for your referral program or not, one of the things we've learned, having launched well over 100 referral programs, is that using a dual-sided referral bonus will increase your referral placements by 29%. This means that you should have a give and a get. The applicant and the ambassador should get paid out. Typically in staffing, I think this is shifting, but what we had seen is a lot of times it was just paying the ambassador. What a dual-sided referral will do is it will increase the likelihood of sharing by making it a win-win for both parties. With that, let's jump.
We never did, David, until we partnered with you guys. So
Really?
I love that idea. It's been really successful for us.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah. And anybody that's listening to this, like if you're trying to ramp up your referral program, do dual-sided. It will give you an immediate lift. You don't need to give as much to the applicant as the ambassador, but having it be for both parties helps increase the sharing. So one of the last components we've got in terms of the how-to, when we talk about nurturing and using technology to scale your community, we have an example here on the right that just shows you, again, it's our platform of how you can automatically invite every candidate to be part of the referral program. But when it comes to automation and leveraging your talent community, it's important to think about this. Nurturing candidates will increase your redeployment rates. It can increase your referrals. You can increase your reviews. There's Bullhorn automation, Great Recruiters, Clearly Rated. There's all kinds of automation tools that you can use to drive these results to make sure that you're doing a better job. And I know, Alyssa, you had some specific thoughts around using you're always excited about the tech side of things. So I'll pass it over to you.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. No. So yeah, it's very much, I think we benefit all the time from the sort of set it, forget it mentality, because we've got a lot of the automations going out and the reminders and notifications and just all the different things that keep the thought in the forefront of our ambassadors' minds and in front of, reminding those that have been invited to respond to the invite. And so it's been a very sort of easy program to administer because, we worked with, Rachel, and we've set everything up and and these are all customizable too. So they can completely, reflect your brand and your feel and have whatever you want in them. And then you turn it on and it just keeps generating, like nationwide, like generating activity and interest. And it kind of keeps itself rolling. So it's nice.
Yeah, and I think it's just important when you think about leveraging your talent community that you have nurturing campaigns in at different spots to make sure you're communicating, keep staying top of mind. And we've heard that recruiters are having less time to talk to candidates, so there's less opportunities to actually ask for referrals. So for some companies, they're like, "Oh, referrals go down because we don't even get the phone conversation. It's just all happening online." So when do you do it, and how do you make that happen? So having messages that go out, having platforms that do it is a way to make that enhance that. Also adding it to your mobile app can drive it further as well.
And you don't have to count on the human recruiter to remember to do it.
Right. Or to remember to continuously promote it or thank you for showing up, right? Like it's going to roll.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're now to my two favorite slides in the entire deck. And rounding up on the end of the presentation. So from a results perspective, Integrity Staffing Solutions, you guys are building a community by helping associates succeed, which is really incredible. Since you've started working with us, you've had $1.9 million in gross margin from referrals. You have 13,000 ambassadors in your network and over 2,400 placements. Could you just talk a little bit about what our partnerships, how you would explain the partnership with Staffing Referrals?
Oh, goodness. Granted, this is 2 years worth of activity, so it's been a little while, maybe even a little bit more now. But for us, it really, it was a very easy program to implement. It's nationwide. Staffing referrals has been great. Along the way, there's been times where doing research or something, we couldn't see the details that we wanted to know about the activity behind a candidate. And, took that back to Rachel, who took it to the Staffing Referrals team. And, they made a few tweaks or enhancements. And so they've been really, really great about, kind of continuing to improve the product. And then, as a result, they, some of the things that, you wouldn't have thought would be that easy are built in now. So for example, I talk about having, being able to use ambassadors that are not staff. In the beginning, we had to send out the 1099s manually. That was something we talked to Staffing Referrals about, and they were able to make it an automated part of, the systemic process where they get to a certain stage, and now this email goes out and the 1099s are part of it. So the partnership is phenomenal. And the good thing too with Bullhorn is it's such a tight integration that literally I sat down with you, Dave, in the morning, and, a couple hours later it was stood up and rocking and rolling. So from a technology perspective, I really appreciate a painless turnkey implementation experience compared to some. So that was amazing. And then, we've just had great success too. We've had, what you would want as a staffing organization. We've had the 2,400 placements, but behind that, we've also got, we've gotten what you would expect out of a referral program. We've gotten, we've had almost at least 50% of the people who became placements also get the award at the end of the day. So we've gained 1,000 associates who were referred, came to work, stayed long enough to get the award. And then on top of that, they tend to work twice as long as regular associates because they're there with their friends and they know about the job ahead of time. And, so I mean, it's overall been a really great experience, both from a referral perspective and from a, the partnership with Staffing Referrals.
Thanks so much. And we appreciate you.
So much.
And the last slide I've got for this is that, Eric, you guys are building a community that values individuals. You guys started with us, I think, around 6 months ago. You've got 400K in gross margin from referrals, 1,000 ambassadors, 900 candidates. You guys are off to the races with this and doing a great job of implementing it. Could you share a little bit about your experience and the partnership?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the clear selling point for Staffing Referrals, like we always want to try and generate more referrals and give our referral team, our recruitment team, more leads. And as everyone knows, referrals are essentially gold. But the partnership has been amazing, just from a standpoint of it really builds in or helps build into like the Self-Staff brand and what's been important for us since we started. For us, it's, although not a core value, we always say it's always about the experience. And everything that we've talked about in this presentation, as far as creating a community, creating trust, transparency, those are things that have always been so important to us. And Staffing Referrals has helped us with the referral program and creating that transparency. And to a couple points that we made too, like you're not going to get referrals if you're not creating that experience from the first phone call from your recruiter. So recruiters that bring positive energy are able to sell the positions, talk about the benefits of the company, having a seamless hiring process, credentialing process, checking in on their first day, checking in after their first week, making sure their paychecks look good. Everything factors into people that want to work for your company. And we've had, again, an awesome relationship with Staffing Referrals so far. We've seen a ton of success, but we really, really like our partnership because it helps with our brand and the product that we try to put out too.
That's really great. And we appreciate you guys joining so much. With that, we're going to open it up to questions. I think we have one question on ROI. I'm hoping that that kind of answered it at the end there. But if there's any other questions, we can answer them. Otherwise, we can close out for the day. But anything else, any closing comments from the panel?
I think just to kind of reiterate, I know we said it a couple of times, but one of the greatest ways to look at your community is to look at how many referrals you're getting, both internally and externally.
Yeah, I think that is a KPI that should be in place for every staffing agency owner. And it's something that frequently isn't known, but it's like, all right, are you becoming more dependent on job boards year over year? Or are you becoming less dependent on job boards year over year? That is what your percentage of referral placements means. So something that's a great point, Rachel.
And I think you can really, to the KPI standpoint, I think you can really use like how many referrals you're seeing on a monthly basis to kind of like gauge how your team is doing, building that experience and trying to build the community too. So, obviously if, you're crushing referrals and all of a sudden they take a dip, like, let's go back to the drawing board and start with the basics and make sure that we're doing everything that we've preached from day one. So that's one thing that we look at frequently as well. Absolutely.
And that does happen, right? That happened to me when I was agency. It just declined and we were like, what just happened? We need something, right? Something had happened and we needed to bring on some type of automation to help us fill that gap.
And the great news is if you have opportunities that are going unmet, you turn up the volume on the ambassadors and have them, push the job out, have them broadcast it. I mean, you can always improve.
Yeah, you lean on your community.
Yep.
What a great closing argument.
Well, Alyssa, Eric, Rachel, thank you guys so much for joining. We appreciate you so much as customers and absolutely love working with you guys, and can't wait to continue pushing forward. And thank you all for joining, for everybody that joined today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you.